Hello there, and welcome to another episode of The Dietitians. My name is JeJe Noval, and I am a registered dietitian, assistant professor at Loma Linda University, School of Allied Health Professions, Department of Nutrition and Dietetics. And I am so happy and excited that 4 of my awesome graduate students are here today. And they are Faye Kazi, Lynn Trong, Catherine Kundreva, and Carrie Duenas. And they're here to talk to you about the truth about labeling on the front of food packages.
Hey Lynn, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, it's good to see you. Remember last time we were talking about food products and drinks and just things that can, like products that are really healthy and are like low in calories and that we're gonna buy a lot of and eat a lot of?
I still remember. So did you come up with anything?
I did. I found an amazing product, and I remember I told you that I didn't want something to chew. I wanted something I can just swallow and drink. So I found this amazing drink that I can basically drink tons of. It has like a lot of vegetables and fruits in it. It's low in calories, it's low in fat, and tons of vitamins.
Wow, where can I find some of them?
Any supermarket would have it, I believe, and it's really accessible.
Wow, that's awesome. And you guess what? I also have a new product to show you.
Oh, do you?
Let me see. What is this?
It looks like a granola bar, but those are pretty high in calories.
This is a light snack I just found 2 days ago. It's awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
what is it?
Really low in calories, only 40 calories per serving. It's made with 5 grams of whole grains, and then it's 50% less fat in one serving. So I think I can live with this the whole day, you know.
That sounds really cool. So basically you're saying you're gonna eat this and only this, like all day?
Why not?
Every day?
It tastes really good and it's have all the, healthy benefits.
Well, if it has all those healthy benefits and you can have it every single day, I don't see anything wrong with that if it has all those nutrients in it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm so glad that we found these products.
I know, I'm really excited. I feel like we can survive on these products, and it's only based on when we saw the products at first on the front of package labeling on it, all the information looked really good and really, truthful. So I guess we can survive on this.
Yeah, and especially for, busy schedule of school and work, we just go grab the bar or the drink and just go.
Yeah, nobody wants to go home and cut vegetables and juice their own products. So this is a really good way for us to save time and also maintain our weight.
Sure.
Sounds amazing.
I love it.
I know.
And then we have more time for our gym also.
I know. So I guess I'll see you next time 5 pounds lighter.
Sure.
All right. I'll see you.
All right, Kathy. So that was actually a really great interpretation of how a lot of consumers misinterpret food labels.
That's very true. Front of package labeling can be really useful to consumers, but at the same time, it can be kind of confusing. So front of package claims, just to clarify, we're talking about are the claims on the front of food products that talk about your health and say it has a lot of nutrients and such.
Well, the front of the package labeling were actually designed to help consumers make healthy choices with the products that they buy and actually also compare the different products.
Sadly, despite these advantages, there are also some disadvantages to front of package labeling as well. Consumers can misinterpret these claims and they can make drastic or unhealthy changes to their diets based on what these claims are telling them.
So as we saw in Lynn's case, although the snacks seem to appear healthy, it's still a snack and you shouldn't be consuming all of your food in the snack item. So you shouldn't replace those nutritious
foods. Yeah. Definitely. So, and also she described her product as being really low in calories. A lot of foods say low calorie, which means they have 40 calories per serving, but that does not mean that you can eat endless amounts of these products. Low calorie claim only applies to 1 serving of the product, and for a lot of snack foods, this can be a very, very small amount, and you may sit down and eat 3, 4, 5 servings. So really, you're not only eating 40 calories, you're eating more.
Yeah, and although the front of package labeling gets the consumer's attention, it actually takes them away from the nutrition facts label, which is actually really important because the nutrition facts label actually gives you a lot of great information and it just tells you what is in the product.
True. And also, juice beverages are definitely not equivalent to eating fresh fruits and vegetables. Even if they claim to contain a certain number of servings of fresh fruit or vegetable or the nutrients that's equivalent of fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, it's really not the same.
Well, And that's a good example because as we saw in Faye's case, despite the nutrition claims, the processed product actually cannot substitute the nutritious benefits of real food.
Very true. The real intention of the front of package labeling was to help reduce confusion for consumers because the nutrition facts panel, which is on the back of the products, has really tiny writing and it can be difficult to interpret, especially if you're at the supermarket and you're in a hurry. So the front of package labeling was designed to make it a little bit easier, but it's not designed to replace the nutrition facts panel. It does not have the same amount of information and such.
Right. It's just supposed to be a quick way to compare similar food products, make healthier choices, and usually healthy foods don't actually have these health claims on them, and so healthy foods can actually be overlooked.
That's true. You don't see apples or watermelon or lettuce, fresh lettuce, having front of package claims because they're not packaged, so that's very true.
Right. Well, okay, so we saw Faye and Lynn talk about the different products that they thought were healthy. Maybe we should actually talk to them about the food products.
And clarify a couple things.
Right, so based on what you guys were saying, I kind of understood that, so the information that's on the cover, like if I'm walking down the supermarket, I'm seeing information on the cover and it looks pretty true, but what I'm gathering from what you're saying is that it's not completely true.
Yeah, that's really a good question. Actually, front of package labels, they wouldn't be able to be on the product if they weren't in fact true. But sometimes they're not telling the complete truth. So they may have a certain number of servings of, a vitamin or fiber or whatever, but you're not getting the complete picture unless you turn over the product and look at the nutrition facts label. That's where you gather all the complete information and the big picture on the product. So is that amount, is it per serving? How many servings are in the container? A lot of sometimes small, seemingly one serving containers actually have 2 or 3 servings in them. A lot of soft drinks and juice drinks have that. So it's helpful to turn around and look and say, okay, it's 100 calories per serving, but okay, this container has 4 servings, so it's really 400 calories, especially if you're gonna drink the whole thing in one sitting. So it'll catch your eye, and that's kind of the purpose, but it's good to check and verify with the nutrition facts panel on the back.
Okay, and this other question that I had while you guys were talking is, so let's suppose a person is really busy, like a student or like a businessman or something, and they don't exactly have the time to go home and to clean up their vegetables, to pull out their juicer and actually juice healthy product, like a healthy drink for themselves, packed full of nutrients. So are there alternatives, or is it just like, all deception or whatever?
Well, it's always best definitely to eat the fresh product, the one without the labels, the fresh head of lettuce, the fresh apples. That's always ideal, but yes, sometimes this is a very big problem for many of us. And so in our society, it's just so on the go, we don't have time to cook. So sometimes if you're concerned about getting proper nutrition, there isn't a ton of harm. It's better than not getting any from the fresh fruit. If you get a product that's fortified with this amount of vitamins, a fortified cereal that has some fiber, it's helpful to sometimes look at these front of package claims when you're trying to find something. If you're gonna eat a granola bar on the way out the door, why not eat one with additional health benefits as opposed to one that's just practically a candy bar. So it's nice to kind of, you can enrich your diet with some vitamins you may not be getting otherwise. So.
Okay, so then I have another question, in addition to Faye's question. So, what should we use a front of package label for?
Well, usually the front of the front of the package labeling, it's actually good for consumers it grabs their attention, and so you can kind of compare the different products. Like say, this cookie has this many grams of fiber as opposed to this cookie. When you go down different aisles, like the cereal aisle, there's a bunch of different there's a bunch of different options, and it helps you compare. So you can compare 2 different items that are the same.
It's tricky. They're all trying to grab your attention at the same time. So the front of package allows you to compare them quickly without having to turn over the box and read the nutrition facts label if you are in a hurry. So it's helpful.
That's great. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys, for the information.
You're welcome. So, well, now that we've discussed a little bit about the front of package labeling and what it all means, we're going to show you a few products and discuss how to apply this when you're at the supermarket and you're trying to decide what you want to buy and how to interpret these claims.
Okay. I choose cereals because cereal is very popular in U.S. population, and according to statistics, about 92% of American households purchase cereal at least once a year. And on the average, every year, the U.S. sells out about 2.7 billion boxes of cereal. So cereals become a part of our diet. And it's very important for us to know how to choose a healthy box of cereal for our family. When we're talking about cereal, people usually talk about fiber. Fibers have so many health benefits that we all know. It helps control our weight, it helps to reduce our blood sugar, helps to reduce our blood cholesterol. So it helps, reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes. But the fact is that when we look at the box of cereal, we forget to look at the sugar, the added sugar in that box of cereal. So I would like to mention a little bit more about the added sugar of, cereal box. So according to USDA, we should not consume more than 40 grams of added sugar in our food daily. Basically, we should not consume more than 10 teaspoons of sugar per day. So when we consume cereal, we should take that concern very seriously. So how to choose a healthy cereal box? So I have some tips for you guys. We should look at the nutrition facts label, in addition to the front of package label. Then we'll look at the sugar, the fiber, the vitamins and minerals, and the ingredient list. We should look for a cereal which has more than 3 grams of fiber per serving. And then we look for the cereal which has, as less of added sugar as possible. And we should look for the word whole grain or whole wheat, as the first ingredient on the ingredient list. So I have these 4 products I want to show to you guys. The first one, the first cup cereal has 1 gram of fiber and 10 grams of sugar per bag. So this is not really a good option for you guys. The second one has higher contents of fiber, which has 7 grams of fiber, but it has 18 grams of sugar. So if you have 2 servings of this cereal every day, it's equivalent to 1 can of soda. So I found these 2 healthier options. The first one has 10 grams of fibers, and then it lists in detail 1 grams of soluble fiber and 9 grams of insoluble fiber. It only contains 6 grams of added sugar. The second one has a little bit more fiber. It has 11 grams of fibers, in which 3 grams is soluble fiber and 8 grams insoluble fiber. So it's kind of tough for at the beginning when you go to the market and try to look for healthy cereal choices. So you can come up with a list of questions, and then on the way that you answer the question, it will help you identify which item is healthier than the other item. So some of the questions are: how many calories per serving? How many grams of sugar in that serving? How many grams of fat per serving? How many grams of fiber per serving? And do you see whole grain or whole wheat as one of the ingredients in the list? And then you can come up with the determination if it's a good and healthy choice of cereal or not.
All right. So now we're actually going to start talking about grains, whole grains. The grains food group actually contains 2 different types of grains. We have whole grains and we also have refined grains. So whole grains consist of the entire kernel, which is the bran, the germ, and the endosperm, while the refined grains are actually processed. So you get rid of the germ and the bran. And for whole grains, the most health-promoting substances found in the germ and the bran are fiber, minerals, and phytochemicals. In refined grains, these nutrients are actually removed. So the more beneficial grain is actually the whole grain. The USDA actually recommends that you make half of your grains whole. So therefore, many products nowadays are trying to actually make their products whole. But how can a consumer actually determine whether or not the product is 100% whole grains? So usually you can tell by the stamp. And this is usually labeled somewhere on the package, and it's actually right here. It's this little whole grain stamp. If the product has a 100% stamp, all its grain ingredients are whole and contain 16 grams per serving. So 16 grams are actually a full serving of whole grains. But if the product actually shows a stamp that's a basic stamp, which is right here, it actually doesn't say 100%. This one actually contains at least 8 grams or a half a serving of whole grains, but may contain refined grains as well. So some products with large amounts of whole grains in them actually will contain the basic stamp. And this is because they can also contain refined grains as well. For products that actually don't contain a stamp, you must check the package for something that says 100% whole grain. So if a product says 100% whole grain, it's also important that you check the nutrition facts label and all the ingredients that are listed in the different products. The ingredients facts will list the specific grains, and in many whole grain items, a whole grain is listed first. However, the ingredients list doesn't indicate the amount of whole grains in the food. If the first ingredient contains the word enriched, the product is not 100% whole grain. So also, when comparing whole grain foods, a lot of people like to look at the fiber content, but fiber isn't a reliable indicator to tell if a food is adequate in whole grains, because each fiber content varies in all the grains. So it's important that you check the labels. Research actually shows that whole grains can reduce the amount, or can reduce your risk for diabetes, heart disease, and it can help you maintain your weight. So some products actually contain health claims. And if you look at these health claims that are listed right here, it can actually tell you that the product is decent in reducing your risk. But for products to qualify, they must contain all the components of the kernel and contain at least 51% whole grains.
All right, that's great, Carrie, thank you. So there's been a lot of talk recently about cholesterol and how it's associated with heart disease. So as you might already know, egg yolks have been known to have cholesterol in them. It's one of their components. But if you have been advised by your doctor to cut down on your dietary cholesterol for maybe medical reasons, but you really enjoy eating eggs, eating egg whites alone might be a good idea. So this product, Egg Beaters, is a product that is made up primarily of just egg whites, so there's no yolks in them. So as the front of package labeling on the container says, it says no cholesterol, and that's per each serving. So one serving is actually 3 tablespoons, so it's a pretty good amount of egg or egg whites. So with this product, you get all the benefits of the protein in the egg and the other nutrients in the whites, but you aren't getting the cholesterol and fat content that's normally in the yolk. So this is a good product. So another trend right now with eggs is they're making products that are fortified, eggs that are fortified, and they have a lot of health claims on the package, such as this one. This one's loaded with all these different claims on nutrition. So eggs are naturally, without any fortification, they are already a good source of vitamin B12, vitamin D, and vitamin E. And so in all eggs, there contains about 10% of your daily value. So however, this particular brand of eggs is adding additional vitamins, additional minerals, as well as omega-3 fatty acids to their eggs. And these are all nutrients that are associated with good heart health. So this product specifically has a claim saying that one egg, which is 1 serving, contains an excellent source of vitamin B12, vitamin E, and vitamin D. So that's this claim right here. So when a product, whenever it says it's an excellent source of something, that means that it must contain 20% or more of your daily value per serving. So in this case, per egg of those vitamins. So another nice thing that the labeling on this product points out for us is that these chickens that laid these eggs were fed a vegetarian diet rather than meat byproducts, which is a big issue these days. So this diet is much healthier for the chickens, so they have better nutrition, and in turn this gives the eggs better nutrition content as well. And one final thing you can find printed on this extensive front of package label is the USDA grade. And if you're ever wondering, eggs can have a grade A, a grade AA, which is the best, a grade A, or a grade B. It's also right here. And this grade is determined by the firmness of the egg whites, as well as the amount of air that's inside the shell between the egg and the inside of the shell. So another product that is really popular right now with added health claims is yogurt. So one thing you really want to look for when buying a yogurt, because all of them have different health claims and different calories, is first thing you want to do is similar with the cereal, you want to look at the amount of sugar that's in the yogurt. And you want to make sure that you're reading that amount for the entire yogurt container, not just for one serving, especially if the container is the amount that you would eat in one serving. So some yogurts contain 30 grams of sugar or more per serving, which is a really, really high amount of sugar. And as Lynn said, we're not supposed to have more than 40 grams per day, ideally, so you could get almost all that in just one little healthy yogurt. So this product actually contains only 100 calories per serving and only 7 grams of sugar per serving. So this is a great product if you're trying to lower your carbohydrate intake or watch your blood sugars. It's pretty low in added sugar, so this is a good product. Another option, if you dislike artificial sweeteners, which this product does have, this one has no artificial sweeteners, and it's a Greek yogurt, and it's only 120 calories per serving. And it does have 18 grams of sugar, so it's not ideal if you're trying to watch your sugar intake, but it doesn't have any artificial sweeteners added to it. So both of these products, it was written pretty small, but on their labels they say that vitamin D is added to the products. And this is true. You can verify by checking the nutrition facts, and it's printed really small, but on the back you can look and see the % of your daily value of vitamin D that's been added to each of these products. So.
Okay, so I hear what you're all saying about these products and that there are some good and there could be some misleading products, but I still want my juice, obviously. So I was able to find some pretty good and truthful products from just the local supermarket, and I will definitely go ahead and share that with you. So this is a really good product that I found. There are lots of products that you can find, a lot of drinks you can find that promise to have the 5 servings of fruits and vegetables in that one can or whatever. So that can be a little bit misleading. So it would be encouraging. I would definitely encourage a person when they're looking at a front of label package, turn the product around and check out the ingredients, check out the nutrient facts, because a lot of information could be hidden in the back, because this may say like this is a really good, it's like an orange carrot juice mix, and it has fruits and vegetables in it, and the cool thing about it, it says 100% natural, it says 100% juice, and it's all natural. And that's really important for us to know, because there are some products that can say natural on it, but it's actually not natural at all. So you're going to go ahead and look at the ingredients in the back of or it could be on the side, and check out the ingredients. If the ingredients say it is actually all natural, like over here it says, I'm going to go ahead and read it, orange juice, carrot juice, apple juice, mango puree, apple puree, banana puree, and that's it. It doesn't go ahead and say preservatives and this type of coloring and that type of coloring and whatnot. If it does say that, then you know that the natural word that was used on the front was actually very misleading. So another interesting thing about this is that it says an excellent source of vitamin A and C. You can also go back on the back of the bottle and check out the vitamins and minerals section. You can actually see the vitamin A and vitamin C over there. So they're not just saying that just to grab your attention. So that, this can be a good example for the vegetable drinks that we usually drink. Also for the juice lovers like myself, orange juice is a really popular big one. And most orange juices will say on the front 100% pure juice, but they'll actually say in really tiny words right underneath that section that it is from concentrate. So again, you want to grab, this actually is a really good example because it says 100% pure Florida orange juice. It doesn't have anything on the bottom that says that it's from concentrate. It actually says pasteurized, never from concentrate. And you can also go in the back and check out the ingredients, and the ingredients say the same thing. The ingredients just say 100% Florida orange juice. So that's another good example, another good way for you not to be kind of deceived. And also I wanted to get this one because it said some pulp in it. It does have some fiber in it still, so you can know that you're still getting your fiber, because most of the juices that you will be purchasing are really strained of all the fiber. You're missing out on that really great quality. Of course, it would be highly encouraged to even skip these, go home, go to the supermarket, grab your fruits and vegetables, wash them up, grab that juicer, juice it all, make a beautiful, clean, wonderful cup of some kind of juice or mix that you can like. You can add some ginger to it just to get some extra flavor and a little kick in there. And also it's important to remember that there are enzymes, really important enzymes inside these fruits and vegetables that you actually miss out on if you buy an already packaged or bottled food source. So we would definitely encourage having the all-natural punch and kick from all those enzymes and vitamins. So I guess all this information is pretty important for us to keep in mind. What you're putting in your body is after all the most important thing. I don't think that we are what we eat after all. So we don't want to be deceived by misleading claims on the cover of the bottles. And I don't know, does anybody else have something they want to add about that?
But I feel like as a consumer, if you educate yourself and you know how to look past the claims that are just there to grab your attention, and you know enough to look at the back of the label, you're already ahead of a lot of people.
True.
And that's some really good knowledge, and all the information you really need, most of it really is on the package. You just have to sort of know where to look for it. So.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for letting our friends out there know how to read their labels much better. I'm just going to add something really quick. I know, Lynn, you talked about the American Heart Association making a recommendation about how much added sugar to have every day. Yes. And they go on to say that for men, they recommend about 30 grams of added sugar per day. And then for women, they break it down to 25 grams of sugar per day. So we get less as women. Not fair. Oh, wow. So thank you so much for listening in to what our beautiful ladies have had to say today. Please tune in to our next episode of The Dietitians. You can look at our schedule on smartlifestyletv.com. Until next time, in order to live well, you've got to eat well.